The reforms that we would want to see instituted and put in place. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, thank you for covering the elections and thank you for doing a fantastic job. We really appreciate you. We want to thank you for what you did and we continue to count on you for covering these elections. Going forward, we are pushing for electoral reform. The journey has begun. The march to 2023 has begun. We are on number 19. We want to get a 2/3 majority. We are on 0 in terms of the actual vote on the presidential election. But we know that the presidential candidate we are going to have at 2.6 million. So we count on that 2.6 million going forward and want to make sure that we have a 6 million mark vote in the next election. Zimbabweans, you can do it. Register to vote. Those who didn't vote in the by-election, we understand. You said you wanted a general election that will change your life and that will change your situation and change the government. This is the opportunity. Do it. Register to vote. We want to thank you. God bless you. And we thank God for the journey because on our own, we could not do it. But because God is in it, the citizens are in it, victory is certain. And we will win Zimbabwe for change in 2023. Thank you.
Thank you.
First election, and we've done so well. I've heard some people saying that, no, you retained your seats. We had no seats. We're on 0. We are starting afresh. Zanu-PF and Mr. Mnangagwa took the seats we had in 2018 and gave them to MDC Alliance. MDC Alliance did not win any seats. Zanu-PF, I'm not so sure if they won anything, but what we know is that we are now on number 19. And we are on this march to a 2/3 majority in Parliament come 2022. Citizens have done very well. And we thank a lot of people who worked from no resource, from nothing, but the citizens. Citizens, we want to thank you. You did it. We have done it countrywide. We are now standing on the municipal elections over 75 councillors out of the 120 that were contested for. That's not a mean achievement. We've done very well and we're excited against all odds. You know that we had a lot of challenges. There was violence. We even lost one of our members, Boneni Mwe. Some of our supporters were beaten. Matsibaba is a case in point, arrested. And many others were injured in Harare, in Kwekwe, and in the various parts of our country. One of our candidates in Mashalala and Central, their homestead destroyed. We had problems with the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission around the issue of the voters' roll. We still have those problems. Yes, we have had a landslide, but that does not move away from the fact that the elections in this country need fundamental reforms around the voters' roll, the credibility of the voters' roll, around the issues of making sure that results are managed in a better way. Polling stations are not subjected to the violence, intimidation that we have seen. Zanu-PF people do not believe in a free vote. They do not believe in the liberation agenda. They do not believe that citizens have the right to demonstrate their will and express themselves in a free and fair election. Effort. In fact, that's part of the evidence of the insincerity of ZEC. You know, we wrote to ZEC several letters around voters. They also responded to us. But in their response, they were not giving any answer that is solid. They were wish-wash, not committing to anything, and we have problems with that. So the fact that they would want to misrepresent even to you as a journalist is a fundamental issue that marks and demonstrates insincerity on their part. ZEC were supposed to pass various tests, one of which is sincerity. Another one is integrity, the honorable conduct of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. We have not seen that. They were supposed to also pass the constitutional test in terms of following the Constitution on all the requirements. Look at the complaints we had around the ballot paper itself, how the pictures appeared and how our logo appeared. You can see that there is tomfoolery. You can see that there is deliberate mischief on the part of ZEC. And these are the issues we have put on record. The issue of the voters' roll, The issue of our campaigns being disrupted by the police, as is required by the law. But there hasn't been any good news from ZEC. People have had their names being moved from one constituency to another. Numerous complaints around people being unilaterally and illegally shifted from one polling station to another. It's a big issue that we are going to even raise. They know our complaints. They know that we continue to raise them. And we will continue to raise those because ZEC is our constitutional body. It is our collective referee. We cannot allow them to choose one side or to be biased because they are required by the Constitution. And they have to pass that constitutionality test. A new kid on the block, we have lost nothing. If anything, we have gained. From 0, we are now 19 members of parliament who are going to paint the parliament yellow. That's not a small achievement. Those in Zanu-PF will tell you that this is not small, including winning in Kwekwe, Mr. Mnangagwa's own backyard. That's where he stays, and we are glad that his neighbors voted for us. That's a big statement. And we want to thank the people of Kwekwe for showing that they do not have confidence in their own neighbor, and they've supported us. That's a big victory for us. Marondera, where we're not allowed to campaign, we did fantastically and phenomenally well. And even in the various wards where people were throwing around, trinkets and trappings, to citizens, we did very well. 77, thereabout, that figure, out of 120. You can't say that this is not a big victory. This is being won by people whom they were dismissing as having no plan. Now, if you have no plan and you are able to win 19 seats against people who have a plan, then you must be a serious player. And we are serious players. As I told you, we are the next government. We have done very well. We swept all the seats that are in Bulawayo, all the seats that are in Masvingo, all the seats in Harare, except of course 1 or 2, where we have just loaned, on account of our magnanimity. Because democracy is that we must also allow others, to feel the fairness of competition. And we are okay with that.
Yes, sir.
The voter turnout. Look, this is a by-election. A by-election is always generally against those who are in the alternative and for the incumbent because of a number of reasons. People don't feel the incentive to vote in a by-election as opposed to a general election. Wait and see. The general election is going to give you the highest turnout. This one, yes, people did very well actually. When you look at all the historical by-elections, people don't generally participate in by-elections, but we are so happy that enough was done and a lot of good work was done. So yes, you will see. And we are doing everything to make sure that when the by-election comes, we do very well. In fact, we have been asking all our supporters to tell us, they say, look, general election, yes, because we can change a government, because we can change a leadership, because we can change our lives. By-election, fine, we can change our representative, but not a government. So the impetus and the motivation is not as high as in a general election. So yes, let's wait and see. But I can tell you that we are doing everything within our power to make sure that things are done. Very much on the two very important questions. I just want to say, in 2018, the citizens of Zimbabwe gave a mandate to representatives at various levels. At presidential level, they gave us a mandate. That's why the election was disputed in the Constitutional Court. And we still have that dispute because it has not been resolved. We did not agree with the Constitutional Court in giving Mr. Mnangagwa a mandate when the citizens gave us a mandate. We also had representatives at parliamentary level and council who were chosen for 5 years. We have no right to choose to then say to those people, step down or stand down. They have a mandate that they were given by the citizens and it's expiring in 2022. If anybody chooses to recall them or do any funny things, it's between those people who are acting in a very criminal way and the citizens. But what we can't do is to go and test people in terms of their loyalty. The citizen movement is for all citizens, including Mr. Mnangagwa. If you were to come and join the citizens, the only thing that will not provide a leadership seat for him. But he is a citizen. He's free and ready. He's welcome. That's why we have said, everyone, including those in government, this is your movement. Liberation fighters and war veterans, this is your movement. It's a movement for all the citizens. So yes, they are in parliament. We are not going to go there and say, you are going to be MPC, you are going. That's not our business. Our business is that we now have 19 members of parliament. Those we can account for. Those who are under the citizen banner, under another different party, is their right as citizens, and we are not going to tamper with them. So we will not delve into those matters. Then of course, the issue of the United Nations. Yes, we feel that if we don't